with it. So open the TouchOSC app, and over here I have the brightness for the workshop. I can change it from 0% all the way to 100%. And of course also for the office lighting you see behind me, I can turn it all the way off and also turn it all the way on. Very easy. Good day, I'm Dennis, and today I want to cover the TouchOSC app, how you can use it in combination with our DiGidot controllers. So the TouchOSC app basically enables you to create a very user-friendly interface to control your LED lighting in different areas of, for instance, like an office room, maybe your home, etc. etc. So I want to cover today how you can easily program it in combination with your DiGidot controllers and also some software that you can use on your computer or PC or Mac. The scenario that we're going to cover today is an office space where we have two sections. We have a workspace which only has white, where you can change the brightness. And we also have an office space where we also have white, where you can change the brightness. But we also have something more fancy, which is like the wall lighting, which can change to any color that we like. So we can cover this today, how you can program it, and it will be very easy to understand. So join us. Alright, so when you've downloaded the zip folder and unzipped it, then you get these few files. You get the .exe on Windows and the .dmg on a Mac. I just want to open this file, so let's go ahead and jump straight into it and double click it. Let's also make the screen a little bit larger. So this is the interface that we're gonna program to also communicate with the DiGidot controllers. At first, on the left side, we want to increase the size. You can see the size over here is by default a phone, but we want to generally use this on like a tablet, like an iPad or something like that. So we're going to choose iPad, and you can see the screen becomes much bigger. So let's say we want to zoom out a bit so we can see the whole screen. And I also want to enable this option on the top, which is grid. So it makes it very easy to drag and drop controls and also to snap them into place instead of always have like a slight difference in like the height or width or like the position of the controls. So I'm going to enable grid, and then you can see the grid has appeared. And now I'm going to add some layout controls. So what you can do is click with your right mouse button on the screen, and we basically want to use 5 different controls at this point. We have a lot of different controls that you could use, but we want to focus on the label, these 2, on the fader, these 2, and on the push button. And if you're wondering, H and V are standing for horizontal and vertical. So you can not change the control position afterwards or change the rotation. You need to choose that up front. First we're going to start with label H, and then a control has appeared in the middle of the screen. And I want to use this as a sort of a background to also make the interface more nice. So we can enlarge this control by dragging this bottom right square to look like this. And it becomes a lot bigger. And let's say I want to have like something like this, maybe a little less width. And I also want to remove the text, so it just looks like a background. And there's also an option on the left side to change the color. So yeah, red, green, blue, yellow, purple, gray, orange, brown, and pink. Let's say I want to choose the color red, and I want to use that in not the background, but in the outline of the object. And then it looks something like this. Let's also enable the background, so you also have a clear background where the controls can be put on. And let's make it a little bit smaller, and now we want to add some text to make it clear what controls are actually in this area. So right click again, and then we can choose fader V for vertical. By default, the color is always red, but let's also make it look nicer. I want to enlarge this control like this. And I want to say, let's make this also blue, so it has the same color as the outline. And now I want to also add some text to make it more clear what this fader does, because if you just see this fader, you don't know anything about what's going to be controlled. Right click again, and then we can choose for label H. And on top, I will drag it on the top and also make the text slightly bigger. So let's say on the left side, I can change the size to, let's say, 24. I want to also make it a little bit larger so that the text doesn't cut off on the edges. I want to change this text to the workshop. This control is for the workshop. And now I'm going to use a very common method about copy and pasting different types of labels or controls to make it much more easier to create your interface. So on Windows you can use Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. On the Mac you can use Command-C, Command-V. And then if you do that operation, so I will press Command-C or Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V right now, a new object with the same properties has appeared on the top of the previous object. So if I just drag this to a different area, you can see it made a copy of the object. Okay, I want to change this text to all, because yeah, it's like about all lighting the workshop. I'm going to decrease the font size a bit, let's say 18. And I want to have a different color, so it also looks more nicer. And I only want to use this color for the text itself. So this is the fader for all, and on the bottom I'm going to use the same copy and paste command again. So I've copied and pasted again, and now I can have a new label with the same properties. And I want to change this to the brightness. Change the text to the brightness, and also let's make it a different color, like red for example. So now this area controls the workshop, all lighting, and it's about the brightness, so it's very clear to the user what it actually is going to be controlled. We want to reuse this section, so again, copy, paste. And I want to expand this to like all the way to the right, because now we're going to program the office space. We're going to reuse the workshop label, copy, paste. And of course change the name to office. And now we can also easily reuse the other labels and faders. So we have this fader, we want to use this fader 2 times. So Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V first time, and also Ctrl+V second time. We're going to reuse this one, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and Ctrl+V. So this is about the wall lighting. That's a special one, it should be put over here. And this is the main lighting, so the main working area, so you can just say main. That's fundamentally it. And also over here, the faders are controlling brightness. So let's also make it more clear by putting the brightness label on the bottom of the fader again. And of course the wall has something special, because we can now control the brightness of the workshop and also for the office, both the main and the wall area. But the wall can also change colors. So let's make a few buttons where you can choose a color from. So now we're going to go ahead and right click and choose the push button. I'm going to drag this over here. And I can actually make this button the color that they're going to represent. So over here I have like a red button, so I can know, hey, I want to have like a red. I just choose this button. If I press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V again, I have a new button and I can say this is a green button, so I can program it to show a green color. So text a little bit to the right. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V for a different color. In this case, I want to showcase, I want to have blue. And the last one, I want to actually also change the color to, let's say, or basically like pink, or basically like white. But there's no white, so I'll just choose a gray in this case. So now it looks white. And now we have all the fundamental controls and faders put into the layout. And now we're going to actually program it and see how you can link these controls to the DiGidot controllers. Okay, so we're almost done with the interface that we created on the computer. We only need to one last step, and that's to actually change these 3 faders, to change these invert section you see over here. Normally the 0% is at the top, but we want to have the 0% mark on the bottom, so we have like the 100% on the top. So we're going to go ahead and press each one of these faders and check the inverted option, and now it starts from the bottom at 0%, and if you drag them all the way up, it will be 100%. Then it's a good practice too, because we're now done with the interface, so we want to save it. I already saved mine and named it TouchOSC Office Demo Interface. I'll save it once again, so now it's automatically updated. And now it's time to transfer this interface to this tablet, which in this case is this iPad. We want to make sure that they're both on the same Wi-Fi network. And if they are, we want to start the syncing process. Here on the top you see the sync button with the green arrow. And if you press that, then a small window will pop up, and now it should be discoverable on the iPad. So we go ahead and go to the iPad. You should have the TouchOSC app, of course, installed on the iPad. If you have that, you can press this one. And now we're going to search for the computer on the network. So I'm going to head on layout, I'm going to hit this button and we press add. And now we see there's one founding host, so we select this one. And then the new interface should appear. As you can see over here, it's called TouchOSC Office Demo Interface. Now on the top part, there's the most important setting of the TouchOSC app. You have the IP address of the C4. It should be the same IP address that you've configured on the C4. So if you have, for example, 10.0.0.2, you change the OSC address to 10.0.0.2. But in this case, I'm on a network where I know that C4 has an IP address 192.168.24.52. So this is good. I press done on the top right. And now I have the interface ready on my iPad, ready to configure on the digital C4. So now we move back to the computer, and then we can go ahead and actually linking all these buttons and faders to a certain action. Yes. Okay, so now it's time to actually link all the faders and the buttons to an actual C4 controller. So in this case, I've gone to my IP address of the C4, which is this one. And I also have my three devices, the Office main, the workspace, and the Office wall over here. And now we want to watch very carefully how we can configure this only from one device, and that from one device you can also control other devices. First step first, let's go to triggers. On the top right, you need to check if the OC triggers are enabled. So we go ahead and go to HTTP, UDP, and OC. And then this toggle, enable OSC triggers, should be enabled just like this. If not, click it once and then to turn blue. Then press save, and then you've enabled the OC triggers. And now we're gonna link the triggers. So we have 3 brightness faders and 4 buttons C to play. So let's first connect the faders right now. So I'm gonna have to press add a trigger. We're just gonna do it for, let's see, the Office main. We want to add a OC trigger. And now on the left side, we actually want to choose Learn. And then we can switch over to the tablets. We're gonna press done. And then here you see the interface. I want to select the Office main brightness fader. And it should be this one. And if you press this one, it should be instantly recognized on the interface on the digital C4. And then in this case, it says it's fader 2. It could be a different fader if you created these faders in a different order. But it should say something because it automatically detects whatever message is coming in. That message is used to change the brightness in this case. In this case, we want to actually change the brightness. So this is like a normal trigger, so we can play scenes based on this trigger. But we actually want to check and change it to a link trigger, which you can see over here. So go ahead and go to Office main. And on the left side, we have the Office main. That's always the case, even if you have multiple devices. We want to listen to OC. Gonna hit Learn, and then we press the fader once again, and now it has fader 2. And on the right side, we also want to apply the parameter only on the Office main, so on the input device in this case, and change the brightness. So go ahead and press save. And now we configured the first trigger. Now we're gonna go ahead and configure the second trigger, the second fader, which will be the Office wall. So over here you have the OC again. I'm gonna press OK. It says, but in this device it's disabled, so you can also get notified over here that's disabled. And you can enable it with a click of a button. Press enable. And over here again we press Learn. But again, this is like a normal trigger, so you want to actually use a link trigger, which you can see over here. Okay, so now we've added the first fader to Office main, and now we're going to create the second fader for the Office wall lighting. Important to know is that we still want to select the Office main, because that's the main IP address where the OC messages are coming in from the iPad in this case. Choose Office main, it listens for OC, we want to press Learn, and now we want to change the brightness value of the Office wall, so that's this one. And now it says, okay, I've received the message of fader 3, which is fine. And now on the right side, we want to perform this change on the Office wall, like this. And again, we want to change the brightness. So go ahead and press save. So now the second fader is connected, and now the third fader will be connected to the workshop. But again, on the input side, you want to only choose one device. In this case, again, OC. It's enabled to this device, of course. And now we're going to go ahead and press learn again. This is the workshop. Change the brightness of the workshop, and then it says this is fader 1, which is correct. And on the right side, it's the workshop, and we want to change the brightness, in this case, from the workshop. Okay, so I've now connected all the faders to the individual devices, and they're all coming in the messages through the Office main device, and from there it's being transferred to like all other devices. Now we're going to add the 4 colors, 4 buttons to have a different color when you press a button. Press over here, so now we're going to go ahead and create a normal trigger, still on the Office main. Press OC again, and start listening, and we want to press this red button, so like this. And it says push 1, it's like the first button. And we want to play a scene on the Office wall, which is in this case, I've already created some scenes, so I scroll all the way down. I want to say color red. And now to play the color red when I push the first button. I press save and say play red scene. I want to copy and paste because I want to save and clone, because I also have similar triggers like this, and it's easier to hit save and clone than instead of going through the whole process again. I want to press learn again. I want to now click the second button, which is green. It's push 2, and now I want to play the color green like this. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this one and change the red to green. Save and clone again, and the same steps 2 more times. So learn, press the next button, which is blue. Should say push 3, and now change the color to blue. Save. Change the name from red, in this case, to blue. And now go ahead and save and clone for the one more time. Learn again. Press the 4th button. It should say push 4. And we go all the way down and choose the white. Now I'm gonna press save. Change the blue to white. And now you can just press save. And now we've configured every OC trigger to a control that's present from the interface running the TouchOSC app. And now we're done. We can now control all the lighting from the TouchOSC app from the iPad. And I'm going to show how to do that right now. Okay, so we're now done configuring, so now we can start playing with it. So open the TouchOSC app, and over here I have the brightness for the workshop. I can change it from 0 to % all the way to 100%. And of course, also for the office lighting, you see behind me, I can turn it all the way off and also turn it all the way on. Very easy. Also makes it way more interesting to see what the wall is capable of doing. So of course, you can also change the brightness from high to low. But the most important thing is, of course, that you can change the colors. You can choose the red color, maybe the green color, the blue color, and also the white color. So you can basically also create maybe additional colors in the future to also enrich the experience. But for now, this is it. A very easy way to configure like the TouchOSC app to work with the digital C4 controllers, both with LED tapes or DX fixtures, you name it. And yeah, as you can see, a very friendly user interface that you configure on your own. Thank you for your attention.